Hi all and welcome back to my channel of an everyday life. I'm an Aspie. If you're new, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with autism and mental health, along with tips and advice, as well as fun and games, as well as other variety of videos that you'll see in the videos that I present. So if you're into any of these and more, feel free to smash the subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any posts, because usually I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but that may subject to change. So today is going to be a special one again for another collab special, obviously, and I want to welcome Dan from Dan Being My Own to come onto my channel right now, and you can visit him on his sites with the description below. And saying this also, basically, as a medical doctor, before I begin further, I'm no medical doctor, I'm just your normal Joe Blow. So if you see anything out of the ordinary, seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, or seek second opinion for yourself or your loved one, because I don't condone self-harm. So obviously, as I said, I want to welcome Dan from Dan Being My Own on his channel today, and we're going to be talking about his condition with those same questions he's seen with the interview collab questions. So
hey Aspie, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and answer these questions. I'm glad you got me the chance to offer myself to your channel and do a collaboration with you. Like, I'm really excited. Thank you so much. I actually really enjoy your videos, so that's why I want to do a collab with you, stuff like that. So I hope everyone who watches this enjoys this. Thank you for Aspie for giving me this chance to be a part of her channel, and hopefully she'll become part of my channel too, and we'll continue to have great videos about autism and how our life struggles and how we react and how we understand it and why we're so passionate about autism and why we speak about it on YouTube. So Aspie, thank you so much for this.
the questions before we begin are, number one is, what is the name of the condition that you're diagnosed with? Is there any common names for this? What is it known for?
With autism,
What are the signs and symptoms?
autism is a whole spectrum. Signs, for me at least, is hard talking in groups. It's hard for me making friends. It takes me longer to open up.
What are the causes and triggers?
I'm very picky. I hate the feel of paper. I really hate the feel of paper. I take longer being myself in person. So that's the best way I can answer that. Pretty much touching skin, touching paper. Big, huge crowds of people really gets to me. I sometimes get bored very easily. I don't talk as much as I usually do in public. Even assemblies from schools or movie stuff from actors and stuff kind of makes it trigger as well. I'm a very picky eater. I don't like the textures of foods. That triggers it as well. It can also trigger when I have to repeat myself at least 3 or 4 times to a person. It gets to me really badly sometimes. I've been getting better at it though. Other than that, tell me what triggers your condition for autism if you have it. I would really like to know, just see if I'm not alone, see if it's not just me, you know?
How and when were you diagnosed?
Before I was diagnosed, my main doctor, she kept diagnosing me with everything else, but without saying autism at all during the whole thing. Even though there was clear signs that I was autistic to what she was describing me as, everything but autism. But keep in mind, I didn't even know if I had autism at all. In the end, I was so sick of my doctor, I decided to say, hey, I want a second opinion instead, because you're not really helping at all. Once I went to my second opinion, told her all the symptoms I had, all the condition stuff, and right off the bat she went, oh, okay, you have autism, definitely. This is what autism is. So for me, I finally got an answer that I was actually happy with, and it made sense to me, and it made me feel a lot better about myself, a lot more.
What are the struggles that you go through on the daily, and how do you overcome the struggles?
Being myself, talking to people in public, pretty much doing stuff by myself in my normal today life. Actually, the best way I overcome these is just making my time and slowly make friends and to do stuff on my own. So pretty much I go at my own pace. Sometimes I have to force myself to start a conversation with someone or doing stuff on my own. It's not easy for me, but I just do my best. That's all you can really do for going over your struggle. Plus, sometimes I say to myself, if you don't try to talk to people or you don't try to break out of your shell, you're never going to break out of your shell, and you're never going to make great friends. You're not going to have relationships. You're just going to be by yourself.
Has your condition ever stopped you from doing the things you loved? If so, what are they?
Sometimes it does. It really does. Stop me from doing stuff. I love like wanting to do arts and crafts. I enjoy making myself, like stuff like that. Or when I want to play video games and record them for YouTube. Or even when I have an idea for a YouTube video, like a good idea I want to do for YouTube. But sadly, then I would give up on it and I just flat out get frustrated with it, changing my mind completely, and I'm like, I'll do it another time, and I never do it again. It's really hard to do, and it's really hard finding a job with how I act and how I have a hard time going to bed early and waking up early and stuff like that. It's really hard finding jobs because I really love animals and I really want to work with animals. That's like my dream job, but being on the spectrum kind of keeps me away from doing that. But it's not impossible, it's just hard, How
do you manage your condition on a day-to-day basis?
I'm never afraid to admit this to anyone. So for that, I'm going to be honest with my viewers and Aspie's viewers and tell you guys that I take medication for my condition known as autism. I take meds because it actually helps me concentrate a lot better. I take meds to help me wake up in the morning and get out of bed and do stuff. Plus, it gives me more energy and it helps me become more talkative to people in public and at school or wherever I go. Show more of myself than I usually would without having my meds. I'll be more talkative and show more of myself than I usually would without having my meds. So just because you take medications for your condition, just because you take medicine does not make you weak. It does not make you a terrible person. Don't worry about what others think. Just worry about you and take what will help you in the long run.
How do you treat your condition on a day-to-day basis?
Or as I said in question 7, I take a medication for my condition, which is autism, that helps me wake up in the morning, helps me talk more, become more concentrated. I can concentrate a lot more. I can talk a lot more. I can do more stuff on my own. I can enjoy more stuff. I can go outside and play. I can do arts and crafts. I could listen to music. I could do whatever I want. Medicine really helps me a lot with making friends and helps me be myself out in the world and not feel so caged in and just stay by myself and feel like no one wants to accept me or wants to talk to me because I have autism, but never think like that.
What advice would you give to the audience today about the condition?
Some don't know social cues. They don't show their own emotions the same way as you would. Just be patient with people on the spectrum. Everyone is different. That's why it's called a whole spectrum for a reason. Just be respectful and just be patient. Just don't give them a hard time. Just try your best and be their friend. Because I guarantee you'll make their day when you talk. Don't treat that person with autism any different than other people. Just because someone is autistic doesn't mean they're dumb or terrible people. As what I'm about to tell you is what these people said at Autism Speaks. These most dishonest, disgusting, horrible, horrific people said. And they don't even have people on the autism spectrum, yet they tell us what autism is. People with autism is ruining friendships and families of their own and other families around them. Saying autism is some sort of friggin' demon inside your child's head controlling them. Just because you understand how to handle your own autistic child doesn't mean you know.
What myths and misconceptions do you wish to talk about today, or you hear about more often today than ever before?
For a reason. Saying that medications cause autism when people become born.
Any benefits of this condition? If so, what are they?
I wouldn't call them benefits. I'd mostly call them having a better, safer lifestyle would sound better to that than benefits, you know what I mean? But a benefit I can think of right now that would be perfect for this would be it gives us a better chance at life to enjoy our lives more than we should. It makes us feel safe and feels like they're not trying to baby us too much, but they care and they're trying to make the community better.
What is your pet peeves that you hear about of your condition that you're going to share about today?
Everyone on the spectrum are exactly the same. Being autistic is a bad thing. Autistic people are bad people. This one gets under my skin that people say you should be ashamed to be on the autism spectrum. Why should I be ashamed being different than other people? What's so wrong with that? That really gets under my skin. You should never be ashamed to be born autistic. No one should be ashamed of, no matter what you are diagnosed with. Just be happy that you're alive and you're being yourself. That's all that matters. As long as you're happy and you stay with the people that you love, you'll be striving for greatness because you guys are all unique in your own special way.
Can you describe what life is like for you living with your condition?
Well, I'm diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, or commonly referred as the autism spectrum. So basically I have high function autism. The best way I could describe this is it has its ups and downs. It really does. It can get really frustrating sometimes. You can get angry, you can be sad, you can be happy, you can be annoyed. It really is a hard thing to do, but it's really hard to keep moving forward. It really is. It's really hard to keep moving forward being on the autism spectrum. Now I'm just happy being alive because I made a great progress over the years. I made amazing friends along the way, my life so far, and I'm gonna continue striving and do my best I can to be myself and to help teach others that autism is not a disease. It's where people are unique and special in their own way, and they should be themselves always.
And last but not least, what advice would you give to someone who is in a relationship with the condition, or to just someone in general, basically, from your perspective? How would you go about just sharing about an advice for your condition?
Don't treat that person with autism any different than other people. Just because someone is autistic doesn't mean they're dumb or terrible people. They just learn differently than normal other people. I don't like to say normal, but just because you're autistic doesn't mean you're not like anybody else in this world. All you guys are unique in your own way, just like this. You'll flash just like this because you're so unique, no matter what people say. Always. Just be honest with that person. Take your time with him or her, because since everyone on the spectrum is different with each person. So if you love someone with autism, for me, if I'm mad or upset, or even if I'm not really unhappy or annoyed, I still just want to be left alone. So I would let that person know it's not them, I just need a break. So I'd go in my room, lock the door, to pretty much be by myself and recharge and take a nice break. And then when I'm done, I'll come out of my room and let that person know that I feel better now, I'm relaxed, or I would just say, oh, I just needed a break, that's all, it's not you, don't worry about it, We're all good. I still love you and everything, you know what I mean? But when your girlfriend or boyfriend is locked in their room, just not too much, but from time to time, check on them and see if they're okay, and they'll let you know if they're okay or not.
Thank you, Dan, once again for coming onto my channel. As I said, the link will be in the description below. Pop over to say hello to Dan and actually show your support. Say Aspie has sent you. And for those of you who are watching, a few questions to throw at you before I end this basically is like, what are your pet peeves about the condition? What are the myths and misconceptions you hear about the condition? As well as, you know, are there any benefits for you guys that has the condition? If so, what are they? You know, as well as maybe your struggles of an everyday life for you. What is it like? How do you overcome these struggles? So no further ado, guys. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Do what you love what you do. I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now. Also, in saying this, don't forget that I have got a merch store that I'm trying to hopefully add a bit more, the Patreon account. For those of you who are new today, Patreon is like a subsidy account for us creators, be it music creators, content creators that are doing mental health or water form it is that they're using as a form of the platform on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever else they may likely to fly about. Basically a bit about giving back to you guys when you do support. So if you feel to donate to me, big or small, no pressure basically, but it'd be much appreciated if you did. But hey, this will cover my cost of my rent, the travel when I do some more traveling with Aspie series, or just traveling in general, as well as maybe better recording equipment, so to speak, with the camera setup and whatnot, so that I'm not solely relying on my phone and many other parts that were thing. And in saying this, with the Patreon account, basically you'll see that I've been trying to do some benefits and ties for you to give back to you as a thank you for, you know, journeying with me, even though some of it will be maybe for free, some of it, you know, maybe need out of my pocket to send you guys certain stuff back, if it may be, if you do donate to a certain amount, merch of your choice, versus basically maybe if I can afford to print out a copy of my book that I did 3 years ago, if you're interested in reading my life story more there. And I'm saying this also just to let you guys know down that I've got some projects in the works that I'm still hoping that if anyone wants to participate for project number 1 of the Journey Through the Mind series that you may have seen, Lydia, who was the first participant from Life with Lydia, basically sharing her life story. So I'm hoping to do short blurts of documentary style stories basically based on this. And in saying this, basically if you want to be on the bandwagon in any way for that, feel free to comment below. As well as saying this, the second project of it was supposed to be an icebreaker for you guys, just to answer a series of questions. And if you do decide to come back for the second part of that Journey Through the Mind series to be a more depth storyline, please feel free, because I'm hoping later today, if all goes to plan, and I'm hoping to maybe get someone on the side to maybe animate them or what have you. And I'm saying this also, if you've seen some of my other videos, be it through my, you know, poetry, my baking with Aspie and everything else, please let me know what you would see more of, because at this point of time it's all about giving back to you guys regardless. But I know I should be focusing solely on mental health and awareness and acceptance and inclusion as an advocate, but I would like to try and bring in some mixture of things so I don't, you know, bore you guys, so that you can just, instead of getting to know me, maybe getting to know others that were interested in coming into play. And then there's also just a heads up, basically I was hoping in the works later today to do a second part of my book that I did based on my life of an Aspie, looking through the life of Asperger's syndrome or something along those. I'll link the link in the description below based on that as well, so that if any one of you that are maybe autistic and are from the autistic community groups and you are interested in participating, let me know, so that maybe we can get the ball rolling and get the short stories done and up as well as a third part of my book series, because I'm still thinking that there are certain topics I may have not touched base on from the first part of my book of the Journey Through Life with Asperger's Syndrome of mine. And to wrap it up, basically I have some other funding pages, like basically GoFunding or some other funding page that I've got, that if you're interested in maybe doing it through there instead of through basically Patreon, but as you know, Patreon and this other one, you have the option of PayPal and just insert bank account details and whatnot. I'm not saying this also, I'm trying to keep my blog up to date so I can create it as a website hopefully as of before next year, because that's my main goal. I'm still looking for someone who is willing to actually maybe help me design it from WordPress to actually put this web address in and stuff and tidy it up so that we can actually put other bits and pieces in that you may want to see on there, so to speak, if you've seen it, sort of thing. You know, hopefully you're enjoying some of the read-ups of what I write, even though it's similar to what I share with you guys of certain videos I may have put out, sort of thing. So it's easier for you guys when you come onto my WordPress site, that if you're a visual person instead of like a reader person, some of it is similar, but it should hopefully have some bits and pieces. And also in saying this, I'm at this point of time been away for a few times too because of the subtitling I'm doing. But I hopefully enjoyed this video, and do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.